Galaxy. Thank you very much.
Hello there.
I am Kerwin. This is Keith. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe, and we hope you will enjoy watching this episode. If you've been here before, welcome back. Thank you. I think this should be a fun one.
I think it will be.
Yeah. So we have not done a Q&A, I don't think, since we started our podcast. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But we've got answers, right? So this is the segment that we're calling, right? And that is...
It's brand new.
Yes. Any questions that we've received, and we went through our YouTube comments and we looked at some of the questions that were out there. We put them all on a page. We're going to read out these questions and give answers to these questions, okay? And then also, if you are on the live stream right now, you're watching us, if you have a question, please drop it in the comments, or we have a call-in number that you can use, but this should be interactive.
Yeah, can we just get rid of that logo? Because it's kind of like the way this thing works is like the top chats appear at the top of the screen. So can we just take the logo off?
Okay. All right. We'll work on that. All right. So let's get to it. All right. Let's start with the first question. So you have the first question.
Oh, right. Should Star Wars recast Luke and Leia?
That's a good one to start with. Do you want me to start with the answer, or do you have... Okay, I'll start with the answer.
Answer down below.
Okay. I would say yes, we have to. I mean, it might be difficult for fans to hear that, but Mark Hamill cannot be Luke Skywalker
yes, he can.
much longer. Okay, and the reason why I'm saying that is we've seen Luke.
What's Mark Hamill, like 60 now?
Okay. We're not talking about age, but you brought it up. But okay, he's 70, I believe. He is 70 years old, right?
So I'm saying if he's 70, and like most of Luke is the 19-year-old that we later see 24 in Return of the Jedi. So that's Luke in his prime,
Correct.
If we want to tell more stories around that time, we can't just keep CGIing in Luke Skywalker. But on the other hand, do we need him anymore? Because the whole point of bringing Luke into the Mandoverse was that he was there to be training Grogu in the ways of the Force, but Grogu left, and that raises the question, at least for me, do we need him? Like, what would be the purpose of having him in the Mandoverse anymore?
Okay, well, that all depends on where we're going with Ahsoka. So apparently we have this new threat, right? Thrawn right now, he's in another galaxy, but at some point he's going to come back to the galaxy that we know of, and he is going to be the new Empire, right? So Jedi and the Jedi and the Empire, they go back. They're the rebellion and the Empire. They're bitter enemies. All right. So the rebels or the New Republic are going to need the help of the Jedi. They're going to need all the help they can get if they're going to try to face down this threat. And also, Thrawn has the Night Mothers, right? So
they're dark. If he has the Night Sisters and all their dark energy, and then he has his army of Night Troopers.
Yeah.
Then at this point, we do kind of need somebody strong in the Force. But if we could assemble the Mandoverse team, if we could get, Ahsoka, we get Mando, we get Boba and Fennec, and we get Sabine and Ezra, and we get all of them together in a team, they could take on Thrawn. Maybe Thrawn will be like the next big baddie of Star Wars.
That's what it looks to be.
Because, at the beginning, we had Palpatine and then his minions, and then we had Vader and Palpatine, and then later on we had Kylo Ren and Snoke and Palpatine. Because he didn't need to be there, but they decided, let's just throw him in there, mix in a little bit of nostalgia that nobody asked for.
So getting back to the question, we've seen Luke Skywalker, of course, return during this era, which is after the fall of the Empire, but it was computer generated, right? With Mark Hamill's voice, with a little tweaking, because Mark Hamill at 70 doesn't sound like Hamill at 30 something, right? Which is, completely natural.
Fair point.
But, I think having a Luke Skywalker computer generated CGI is limited.
Yeah, and it's also going to get old because the Luke we've been seeing hasn't been doing many action scenes.
Correct.
And if you notice, the one action scene where we see Luke move in and using his lightsaber, he has his hood drawn, which was partly for the suspense and also so that the stunt double could just kind of take over.
Yeah.
So that way, CGI Luke doesn't have to be there as much. It would save some money because, it does get slightly costly to be having every scene of Luke Skywalker CGI. So at some point, they're going to recast to cut corners a bit.
Yeah, yeah. And Alex,
whether that be now or later or never, I don't know. Alex. I'm okay if they recast for his younger roles. Like Keith, though, I see a good question of if we need to see him. I'd say we should only have him if he's absolutely needed.
I agree with that.
That is a very good point.
Yeah. Now, right now, this is the Thrawn story, but I'm thinking that it would be nice. I don't know if it's going to happen. That we would want to see. Look, even before I start saying this, there is a large gap between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. Right, that's 35 years of storytelling. Yeah. That we can, well, not we. I'm not one of the creators.
Like, Star Wars stories can explore.
Exactly.
Right now, we're kind of in the. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, and so 35 years. I mean, we want to know. Well, I want to know. I can't speak for anybody else. What is Luke up to? What about Han and Leia? Are we going to see them as a married couple and them trying to raise Ben Solo? So that can't be done with CGI. And as Alex pointed out, we've already recasted Han Solo, right? So it's just inevitable that it's going to be Luke and Leia as well. Although, we did have Leia, although she was 10 years old. At some point, we're going to need an adult Leia to continue her storyline.
But also, do we need Leia? I mean, we've seen her in Rogue One, but we haven't seen her in Mandoverse. So between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens, there is nothing with Leia in it.
Well, we don't know that because we know Leia is a part of the New Republic, right? And remember, there were a couple of episodes back. I think that was the one before the World Between Worlds, where her name was mentioned. Do you recall?
Yeah, I do, but
I'm sure they did that intentionally. At some point, they're thinking.
Seen Leia. Last time we saw her, last time we saw a young Leia canonically was 2016 in Rogue One, because we saw 10-year-old Leia in 2022 with Kenobi, and then we saw adult Leia in 2019 with Rise of Skywalker.
Right, but CGI.
Curse that movie. So.
Oh, okay. I see what you said. Yes, the Rise of Skywalker. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So, other than those, we haven't really seen much of Leia, so I don't know if she's necessary either.
Yeah.
But I do have a good idea. What if there was a Star Wars political drama show? Kind of like Andor.
Bloodline?
Kind of like Andor, but Bloodline live action.
Oh, I would love that.
Yeah, but the only thing is, if they do that, they kind of have to recast Leia.
Yeah, that's the point of the question. Yeah. So yeah,
I think that would actually be pretty nice, like a political drama.
Yeah.
You get Mon Mothma, you get Leia, you get Bail. It depends on when this takes place. If this takes place back during the time of A New Hope, then you could get Bail. If not, that option is no longer on the table.
Yeah.
That one blew up with Alderaan. You could also get Kaz's father.
Yes. I don't remember his name right now.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I think that would honestly be nice.
Yeah.
You know what else? Dare I say Holdo? But,
okay.
Without being a pain to deal with.
Well, I mean, she was a part of. I don't think she was in Bloodline. She was definitely in the
Leia,
Princess
of Alderaan.
That's right. So I mean, so she plays a part in Leia's life. So yeah,
Wasn't
absolutely.
She
Why not? So I think. At some point she became an admiral. I don't know exactly when, but all right. So that's the first question. Anything else you want to talk about regarding recasting?
No. You know what else? Mm-hmm. That could take place during the Mandoverse.
The recasting.
No, well, yes, the recasting and also the show, because I feel like that would make the most sense. Right now, we're in a time of political uncertainty.
True.
And, by the way...
Yes.
I really want to know what happened to Kino, okay?
Kino Loy. Okay, yeah, we don't want to go too far off topic, but we'll find out next year. I think season 2 is coming out, right? So let's move on to question number 2. All right, which animated character do we want to see, or do you want to see debut in live
God,
action?
Peg plus Cat is debuting in live action.
Okay, all right, yeah. Let's just keep going. All right.
Yeah, so I think someone we should definitely see in live action is Quinlan Voss.
Whoa.
It's been a long time coming, honestly. I mean, we got Cad Bane, we got Ahsoka Tano, Ezra Bridger, Sabine Wren, Zeb, we got like Bo-Katan. So we got all these other characters who are memorable from these other shows, but we still haven't gotten Quinlan Voss. And it's been a huge mystery what happened to him because we know that he was part of the Pathfinders group in Obi-Wan. Back in the episode where he met Tala, he saw Quinlan Voss's name written on the wall. But
yeah, that's an excellent point, because why would you bring up his name and not show him?
So we know he survived Order 66.
Well, yes, right. I guess we can. That confirms that yes, he's still alive. But where is he? That's a good question. I think we need to find out.
You know what else?
And let me just say, this is interesting that when you name drop a person, you would expect, okay, well, there's a reason why they're mentioning this character's name, that we're going to see this character eventually. But I don't know. It might have, excuse me, it has something to do with the writing, where they had an idea to bring in Quinlan Voss, and then all of a sudden they just dropped the idea. I don't know.
Me neither. So, you know what else?
Yeah.
Quinlan Voss, he's such a mysterious character. By the way, Q&A, is Quinlan Voss human?
I don't remember.
I need a yes or no.
Well, you're asking, do you know the answer?
Yes.
I would say yes, he is.
Actually, he is not.
Okay, what is he?
He's a Kifu or something.
Oh, I never heard of that.
Because he got a yellow mark on his face, which I thought was face paint, but
so did I, yeah.
He is apparently an alien. And going off of Alex's comment, yes, if we see Hera on trial, then yeah, it would kind of make sense. Maybe we can cover that in Ahsoka, maybe cover it in a spin-off. Get some of our favorite political characters and put them all in a show.
Yeah. All right. Let me take a gather at this question. So, which anime character would I like to see debut? For me, it would be Omega. When we saw Omega on the Senate floor, and she was with Senator Chuchi, this is about the time when they were trying to bring down Admiral Rampart. She, came to the floor, and she was looking at all the senators who represented different planets. And then she looked around and she asked the question to Senator Chuchi, who represents the clones? And Chuchi says, well, no one does. I thought, okay, well, that's very interesting.
Here's something. I feel like Star Wars is kind of setting us up for something here. Notice that Omega ages normally. And she's actually older than the Bad Batch.
True.
Which is crazy. But I'll get to that. Never. So,
okay.
Omega ages normally, which means that back during the time then, I'm assuming she's like 10.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Well, when did they stop making clones? Because when they stopped making clones is when they made Omega. So I'm going to assume around 10.
Okay.
So that would be after the 20-year gap between that and A New Hope. That would make her 30, and then you figure about 10, 15 years later. So she would be in her 40s around now.
Mm-hmm. I think it just makes a great opportunity for Omega. I do believe that she's going to be fine after the last season.
Ooh, what would be awesome?
She's going to be fine after the last season. And I think that would be the next step for her career. Like, okay, well, if no one represents the clones, doesn't it make sense? Wouldn't it be wonderful to have a clone in the Senate representing other clones? And I think she would be the perfect person for that job. And by the way, I would definitely want her to be played by Michelle Ang, because no one else can actually.
Nobody else has
do
the
that
voice,
right? So I think she can play an adult Omega. So I'm looking forward to that if that
And
ever
what if she
happens.
reunites with Hera? That'd be awesome.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I can see that happening
Ooh, you know what else would
as
be
well.
awesome? AZ being her assistant.
Sure. Yeah,
You remember
droids.
AZ, that awesome droid?
Yes, with the
Who was
long
in the
name.
first season?
Yes.
And he was like helping out a Camino, and then they made him Sid's assistant or something.
Yes. So, by the way, in case you're just joining
Sid
us,
does not deserve him.
this is our Q&A. So we're asking you to join us. And if you have any questions that you want to bring up and that we can answer them, we invite you to the Q&A. You can either put your question in the chat or in a QR code. Okay. And welcome to those of you who are watching us on Instagram. All right. Thank you so much. All right. Are you ready for the next question, or are you guys?
Yeah, what do you think of the Lando series becoming a feature film? Honestly, I feel like a series would have more time to explore it, but on the other hand, if we get a Lando movie that debuts in 2025, I'm assuming thanks to the writer's strike,
Yeah.
and then giving them some time to write and produce and debut and post production and stuff. So if we get it in 2025, that'll have made it 6 years since our last in theater Star Wars movie. So, sorry, I just had to catch a piece of lint.
That's fine.
That'll make it 6 years since our last in theater Star Wars movie,
True.
which will be monumental.
Exactly.
I mean, it's better than like 30 years. Like, remember that 15-year gap between Return of the Jedi and the Phantom Menace?
Yes.
And then it was like 20 years, 10 years actually, between Revenge of the Sith and Force Awakens. We've had Star Wars droughts quite a lot.
Yeah.
It would be awesome if it was 5 years, because it'll just keep dividing itself, because it was 20, then it was 10, and now it will be 5.
I like the idea of Lando becoming a feature film instead of a series for two reasons. One, we need to get Star Wars back on the screen, okay? And that's how we came to know Star Wars, you know, especially those people who have grown up watching the original trilogy. It was a big event going to the movie theaters and just watching, you know, this story and the music and the visual effects, the sound effects, that all has to be presented on a big screen. And it has to happen in a movie theater. That's one reason. Two, Donald Glover, you know, if you don't already know, Donald Glover and his brother Steven are the ones who are supposedly writing the screenplay. You know, at this point, I guess they pitched the idea to Lucasfilm,
which
to
is
do
awesome.
a film. So, and Lucasfilm is happy with what
they
they
are
pitched.
Down with it. I am down.
They're down with it. But Donald Glover is a very busy actor. And I don't think he may have the time to commit to doing a series. But if it's a 2-hour film, then I think that's the way to go. And you could pack a lot into a 2-hour film. And you don't really have to, outside of new characters, of course, you know, you don't have to do so much of a backstory of Lando, because Star Wars fans know who Lando is. So I think a 2-hour film is just about right. We don't need a series.
It is kind of a shame, though, because I was hoping it would be like a Lando Chronicles type thing.
It could
For
still
every
be.
episode, it's a different story.
Okay, yeah.
But like here, it's going to end up being one big story,
Yeah.
I would assume. Which
I think it can still be a chronicle, and it could feature both Glover and Billy D. Williams. You know,
obviously.
Obviously, but we don't know that. You know, we don't know what role Billy D is going to play. Okay, let's get to Q&A. What do we have here? We have a question. All right, thank you, Fanatics Blog. Thank you so much for coming back. The question: do you think we will get to see how the First Order is formed? We have seen bits and pieces in Mando and Boba. I think eventually we will. I don't know if it's going to be in
Political
the Ahsoka.
drama.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen in the Ahsoka series, because the First Order, don't know exactly when it formed, but it formed. I'm guessing that it started many years later from where we are now in Ahsoka. So at some point,
it would be a minute.
Yeah. It's going to be a while, and then the First Order. Well, it doesn't matter. Ben Solo was a part of the First Order, obviously, but they could have formed before he became a member of the First Order. But yeah, I think that's going to happen down the line. I think what we're having now is Thrawn's rise, and then somehow he's going to be defeated. and then the New Republic is going to rise up again, and then the First Order is going to come in and knock them out. So,
You know what?
the cycle, like Balin Skull's been talking about, it's like, okay, it's the Empire, it's the New Republic, it's the Jedi, it's the Sith, so
I think we need
yeah.
a Mandoverse team up at this point. Like, we already saw it in the Book of Boba Fett, where we got Mando and Boba and Grogu and Fennec Shan.
Yeah.
Like, we got all of them. We also got Ahsoka and Luke, but they weren't part of the huge fight. And we also got Black Chrysanthemum, which was awesome.
That's true, right? Yeah.
So,
Boba Fett.
What if we just do that again?
So just bring all these characters together, you mean?
Give Thrawn his own series.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
Give Thrawn his own series. Wow. Okay. I don't know. Don't know about that. I don't know if he needs his own series. Because if you
he has books now.
Well, true, right. But if you give him his own series, does that make him, will he be the protagonist in his own series or the antagonist?
Well, technically, he would be the antagonist. I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay.
I think from a storytelling standpoint, he would be the protagonist because it'd be his show.
Yeah.
Which is kind of difficult. You've never gotten a movie or show about a villain before.
Yeah, well, I mean, first thought that came to mind was the Joker. The Joker film. He was the.
Well, he was definitely. Wars.
Oh no, not in Star Wars, no. But he was, the Joker. He was definitely bad from beginning to end, but it was still riveting to watch him, lead his own film. But yeah, who knows? Okay.
But honestly, I feel like we need that Mandoverse team up because there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way that we're just taking Ahsoka characters to pit them against Thrawn. It's got to be a bigger fight than that. I'm not doubting that Ahsoka could take on those Night Troopers, but there's like 100 of them. I mean, even an experienced Jedi like her probably wouldn't stand a chance against 100 Night Troopers.
That's true.
If they time their shots right, I mean, pew pew.
Yeah.
So
that
you gotta get multiple.
That is a huge army, and who knows? I mean, if these are Night Troopers that are conjured up by the Night Sisters, they may have some of that dark magic, So.
Oh yeah, the Night Sisters. They gotta be part of that fight too.
Yeah.
We gotta get the forces in. We gotta pull up with the squad. Yeah. Gotta grab Zeb and Chopper and Hera and Ezra and Sabine, make them the rebels, and then have Ahsoka be with them, and then you got Mando and Boba and Fennec and Black Chrysanthemum, and those are the ground forces. And then those cyborgs, Drash and Space Drake.
Yes, I remember them.
Just put them in there too.
Okay, all right. I don't know about that. All right. So that was, it's your opinion. That's fine. Okay, so that was question 3, right? Anything else about the Lando film? We're looking forward to it. We don't know when it's going to happen. We hope it happens. Yeah. Anything else?
I think that's it.
That's it. All right. Let's go to question 4. Okay. The question is, what do you think of the idea of Dave Filoni setting Ahsoka in a new galaxy?
What do you mean?
Well,
excuse me. What do you mean by that? Care to explain?
Well, they are in a new galaxy, right?
What do you mean?
What do I mean? I mean they took the hyperdrive and they moved from one galaxy to another galaxy. Is that not true?
Okay.
Is that not true?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of Star Wars does that.
Okay, well, I don't know if okay. All right, maybe it's
Kenobi.
All right, maybe I misunderstood.
Bad Batch.
Okay, Keith, you want to answer the question? Do you think it's a legitimate question? Does it make sense to you?
I mean, it kind of does.
Okay.
But this is just kind of a Star Wars staple. Moving from place to place. Empire Strikes Back. That was a classic example.
Yeah, but you're talking about going from planet to planet. We're talking about going from one galaxy and, taking this hyperdrive, hyperspace ring, and moving into a brand new galaxy. Isn't that what happened?
Yeah,
okay.
But I mean, a lot of ships jump into hyperspace. That's kind of a wide form of travel.
You did see these questions. Okay. All right. Well, all right.
I had other things to do.
Okay. All right.
My goals are beyond your understanding. As
Maybe I have a misunderstanding of the question. Like, I'm reading it differently than what you are. So you're saying this is no big deal. They've been through galaxies already. But just to let you know again, we welcome new viewers. Thank you for those who are watching us on Instagram. Uh, we are doing a Q&A session.
Instagram, you guys are hard to cater to.
Yeah, so
I mean, connecting to Instagram.
Okay, so if you want to send in a question, you can send it to the chat, or you could use the QR code to send a question. So thank you so much for watching. If you are, thank you.
All right.
All right. So let me tackle this question, because when I read it, I thought I understood it, but maybe maybe I'm not following. So we see in Ahsoka, right? So this hyperspace ring, the Night Sisters, or Morgan Elsbeth, decided that she needed to find Thrawn, right? And in order for her to get to Thrawn, she needed to take this hyperspace ring, and who knows how far or how long it took her to get there, but there's someplace else in a galaxy that we've never seen before.
Yeah.
From what I understand. Okay, we're good so far?
Yeah.
Okay, so when we get to that galaxy, so the idea to me is that if you're in a new galaxy, you are a new location, new planet, new creatures, never before seen, and we saw that in the last episode. Right? I don't know why you're looking at me like that. So, okay. So the question is, how do I feel about it? So I'll tell you how I'm interpreting this to be. So in other words,
explain.
Yes, we got one galaxy where, Hera and, the New Republic are located. We got Luke and whatever is going on there. But it doesn't negate, what's happening in this galaxy that, Ezra and Sabine are in now, right? So it's happened simultaneously. So to me, I'm looking at it like it's like if you talk about the Marvel comic books, it's like an alternate universe.
No,
you don't
no,
think so?
No.
Okay, all right.
No.
Okay, well here we go. All right.
No.
So you don't think of it that way. You don't consider it that
way.
So
in Marvel, alternate universes are very different places.
Okay.
Like, let's say, in one universe, Rhodey falls out the sky and breaks his legs. But in another universe, that doesn't happen. That's how different Marvel universes work. But with these galaxies in Star Wars, it's the same timeline as what I'm saying. They're different points in the same galaxy. So if Hera's, fighting a stormtrooper in that galaxy, Hera's still fighting a stormtrooper while Ahsoka's trying to find Sabine. Like with different universes, there's different events happening in separate timelines, but with different galaxies, it's the same timeline. It's just the same things are happening at the same time. So they didn't go into a completely new timeline and branch off and have to get stopped by the TVA.
No, I didn't say that. I'm thinking it is the same timeline, but there are two different things going on.
Yeah.
Right? That one has nothing to do with the other. Yeah. So in other words, so when last week when I was
they're in separate galaxies.
Yes. Last week when I was talking about we're trying to figure out what Baylan Skoll is up to. Like I'm thinking that he may want to start a new Jedi Order, something completely different than what he's seen or he's experienced or grew up experiencing. And then I think, I don't know if someone on the chat or if it was you made a point of, well, why is he starting up a Jedi Order? Luke has already started one. And I said, well, it doesn't matter because they're in two different places. So you can have Luke creating a Jedi Order where he is in his galaxy and Baylan creating one in the galaxy that he's in. Is that not right? So for example, just let's briefly, I know you're the Spider-Man connoisseur. Miles Morales and Peter Parker exist in the same timeline but different storylines. So in other words, am I misunderstanding that? So, okay, explain it to me.
It depends on what continuity you're talking about. Okay. There's different Miles Morales.
Well, when Marvel decided they wanted to create Ultimate Comics, right?
They created a brand new, all different runs.
Yes, right.
Separate universes.
They're not saying that Peter Parker doesn't exist anymore in Miles' universe.
Separate universes.
So it is separate universes.
Yeah, as far as it was explained it into the Spider-Verse,
yes,
the way it works is that there was a Peter Parker in his universe, but that Peter Parker, he kicked the bucket. So Miles filled in,
I
just like how
see.
in Gwen's universe, her Peter Parker kicked the bucket because he turned into the Lizard rather than being Spider-Man. So she took over as Spider-Woman. She's not actually Spider-Gwen. That defeats the purpose of having an alias because there's literally only one Gwen in New York City, apparently.
Okay. All right. So you don't think anything like that can take place in Star Wars?
No, because that's
Okay.
separate. It's separate timelines completely.
I see.
Like one universe will have Miles Morales and the other will have Peter Parker. Now there are different universes.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm going off of what Miguel O'Hara said here, in
Yeah.
that there's one Miles. You know that one scene in Across Into the Spider-Verse where Peter and Miles, Peter 1610 and Miles 1610 are like staring at each other, and their spider senses start going off. But Miles is green and purple, that switches to red and blue. That's because he was originally supposed to be the Prowler in his universe, and Earth 42's universe, Spider was supposed to bite Earth 42's Miles Morales. So 1610 Miles was supposed to be Prowler, and 42 Miles was supposed to be Spider-Man, but they ended up getting switched.
Interesting.
Which
Okay.
is awesome.
All right.
And that's 1610B, by the way.
Yeah.
There's sub-universes in the
Right.
same universes.
Not to go too deep into it.
All right.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'll try to explain it on an easy level.
Okay.
So
Quick.
timelines.
Yeah.
In Marvel, there's different universes
Yeah.
that are different things. And there's also sub-universes, which have the same universe number, but they're distinguished by a letter, like 1610 and 1610B.
Right.
It's the same character and almost the same things. It's just a different universe, because from a storytelling perspective, if Miles Morales is off in 2018 on 1610 saving somebody, but he's also in 2018 in Into the Spider-Verse, that's different. So they just took the same universe, copied and pasted it, and they used that character in a different way.
Okay.
Like Peter from 616 universe, that's the Peter Parker that we see in pretty much all comics. But Peter 616B, that is the one that we see in Into the Spider-Verse.
I think that's the question that I saw. Alex had a question that we're
You
talking
look
about
confused.
this. Well, a little bit, yes. So no,
I'm
the
confused
question.
too. I don't make sense to myself.
No. The question that Alex is asking is what I'm thinking. Like he wants to know what are our thoughts of having a multiverse in Star Wars, just like Marvel, but you don't see it happening. No way.
No.
Okay.
It
All
takes
right.
the
There's
it
the
takes
answer.
the purpose out of Star Wars, I feel like. Because if Star Wars has a multiverse and we
Yeah.
start telling multiversal tales,
Yeah.
it takes the Star Wars out of Star Wars.
How? I mean, to me, it's just two different storylines going on at the same time. I don't know. Is that not what a multiverse is? Or I said
No.
alternate universe. Is that not the same thing?
No.
Okay. All right. We don't
Like,
need to go into this.
It's the
too
same
complicated.
timeline, but different events are happening at the same time.
Okay. All
Like
right.
you know how during the Battle of Endor,
Yes.
Luke was also fighting Vader.
Yes.
That's two storylines happening at the same time. That's the exact same thing that's happening here.
Yes.
It's the same universe, same timeline.
Right. So let's say
same bat time, same bat channel.
Right. So let's say on Endor, Luke is having his battle with Vader in the throne room, and then in this galaxy where Peridia, where the Night Sisters are, they're trying to get Thrawn, bring him back to power. So this is happening while Thrawn is over here trying to figure out, well, how do I get back to this universe or to this galaxy, so I can, help the Empire. Is that not possible that these two events are happening at the same time, but in two different galaxies?
Yeah, they are happening at the same time in two different galaxies.
That's all.
It's
That's what I
just
meant.
not two different universes.
Okay, well, maybe I mistook.
All right.
I said alternate
Q&A,
universe, but it's not.
everybody.
Okay. This is a touchy
I'm
subject.
frying
Okay.
my own brain cells because
Yes.
my own explanations and my own thinkings aren't making sense to myself.
Yeah. Question for Kerwin. Do you have a favorite story from Return of the Jedi, certain point of view? To be honest with you, I had to put it down. Not that I didn't like it, but I just didn't have the time to continue. I've only read
Relatable.
the first. Relatable what?
I don't have time.
Yeah. Okay. I read the first.
I mean, I have time to play Neon
Can
Flappy
I answer the
Tower.
question that's addressed to me?
Do not ever play Neon Flappy Tower. It's
Okay.
awful.
The question that's addressed to me is, I have read the first 4 storylines. The one that stands out to me right now is the one regarding Max Rebo. All right. So I don't want to give it away too much, but Max Rebo, apparently, we know he's a very good escape artist, because whenever there's trouble,
He's never there.
He's never there, right?
Max Rebo just happens to be taking the days off whenever there's catastrophes.
Yes, right. Either he calls in sick, or he just finds an outdoor. So apparently that's what this story is about.
I bet you the one night Max Rebo slept in was the night the sail barge exploded.
But it's funny.
He's like, I gotta get to my gig, and he just sees this flaming hole in the sand, and he's like, I picked a good day to not go to sleep.
But that's funny. That's what this story is about. I don't remember the title. Forgive me, the title of the short story. But Max was on the sail barge, but he still managed to escape. All right. Anyway. Okay. Bruh. Right. How did he do it? Magic. Question. Michelle, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Oh, we just saw this, right?
Yeah. What?
Have you watched any of the online breakdowns? I mentioned the Zepho connections, the glyphs in the stone. Wow. They've shown Peridia. Thoughts if you have.
What are the Zepho? Like, I know I'm a nerd, but I'm not a nerd.
Well, that is so funny, Michelle, that you brought that up because
that was on our homepage while we were
we were going through our YouTube channel, and we saw this. I think it was Screen Crush that had in the thumbnail about Zepho, and I've never heard of Zepho, so I had no idea. So unfortunately, I don't have an answer to that question. I need to find out. We're not going to do it now.
Oh, by the way, somebody else has given that same theory. Thrawn's Undead Army, Screen Crush.
Yeah, I'll take a look at that Zepho, and I'll get some more information about it, and I can answer that question at a later time.
Right.
Yeah.
Final question.
Okay. Well, we want to make sure that they're okay. All right. You got it, Keith.
Final question.
Yes.
Which film did you enjoy more, The Last Jedi or The Rise of Skywalker?
Now, when we say final questions, of course, we're still asking those of you who are watching the live stream or Instagram, if you have questions, go on and send them in.
This is
right?
just our
These are the questions that we have listed here. Okay, so please read the question again because this is going to be a long answer.
Which film did you enjoy more, The Last Jedi or The Rise of Skywalker? I feel like fundamentally, The Rise of Skywalker was much more destructive to its roots than The Last Jedi was. Because at least in The Last Jedi, they managed to not screw everything up except Luke Skywalker, who was the integral part of everything related to Jared!
Okay. In your professional opinion. All right, so, let's...
That's my professional opinion.
Right, okay, I got you. We don't want to, call out, name call anybody. We just want to, in a professional way, try to answer this question.
Whereas in The Rise of Skywalker, it fundamentally ripped the roots out the ground with Palpatine.
Okay. All right. So,
but,
go ahead.
On the other hand, The Last Jedi messed up Luke Skywalker. And, Rey and Kylo were just having Skype calls between each other for some reason. And then Rey started fighting Luke or something. I don't even know what happened, man. Mm-hmm. I don't.
Well,
I forgot so much of that movie. The only thing fueling my memory of The Rise of Skywalker and Last Jedi are hate, as the Grand Inquisitor put it. Anger does wonders for the will to survive.
Okay, so to answer the question, which film did you enjoy more?
I'm
still hard to tell.
How about The Force Awakens?
that's not the question. All right.
Honestly, the sequel trilogy, The Force Awakens, solid gold, 24 karat.
Okay.
And then after that, it just kind of went downhill. So,
or The Rise of Skywalker, not The Force Awakens.
I
don't want to pressure you, but if you don't have an answer, then that's okay. It's hard to say.
I think. You know what?
Yeah.
I think I hate The Rise of Skywalker.
We're not talking about hate. We're talking about what you enjoy more.
I think I enjoy The Last Jedi more than I do The Rise of Skywalker. Okay, well there you go.
All right, I think that's a very good. All right, so tell us. I'll
tell you why.
No, let's be upfront and let people know that. Okay, so those two films are not two of our favorite.
These are the most criticized Star Wars films, I believe. I mean, Attack of the Clones was better than this.
I got you. All right.
Attack of the Clones was 57% CGI.
We've been asked this question for years. We've been trying to dodge the question, so we didn't have to
now
answer
it's time
to
acknowledge it.
To be honest with you, and I know, hey, look, if you are fans of both films, tell us why. But you
You know
know,
what?
we've struggled to watch these movies
I
from
think at
beginning
one
to
point we
end.
did watch both of them to try to decide, but we never did get to watching the other one.
Yeah, yeah, it was just
We'll have to try that again. We'll buy the
okay.
popcorn and snacks.
But going back to your answer, so you said The Last Jedi is the one you enjoy more. So what, although as a whole, it wasn't, it didn't meet your expectations, but what were some of the
You know,
moments
I
maybe
literally
in the
forgot
film?
Vice Admiral Holdo existed,
Okay. Are
and
you
that
listening to my
Leia knocked
question?
out Poe Dameron
Okay.
for being proactive,
Okay. Is that one of
and
your
that
favorite?
Rose detoured Finn
Did you
from,
hear the question?
being a good hero,
Did you hear
and
my
that they
question?
suppress Finn's abilities in The Rise of
Okay.
Skywalker,
All right. There we
and
go.
Luke Skywalker existed, but that wasn't even Luke. That was Luck Skywalker.
Oh boy.
So
Okay. All right. Anything
I
else?
retract that statement. Last Jedi's worse.
Okay.
You know what's funny? That was a message from Luke. That was a message from the real Luke
Ooh.
Skywalker, because we were trying to see that movie and it was sold out. I think
I
that
see.
was Luke trying to use the Force to message us and be like, "Don't watch it. I was replaced by a
Okay.
clone, Luck Skywalker
Okay. So
or Lack Skywalker,
are you changing your
Lack."
are you changing your answer?
Yes.
So okay, so you're saying now that the two of the two you enjoy the Rise of Skywalker more.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Well, okay, can we go back to the question I asked then? So what are some of the elements, although maybe as a whole there were some issues, but what were some of the elements in the Rise of Skywalker that you enjoyed?
What are you expecting me to say?
You're answering a question
I
with a
don't
question.
have good words for
Okay,
either of these
then we're done.
movies.
Okay, so can I? It's my turn now, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So,
Answer wisely.
no, well, yeah, okay. So I'm still a little upset that I got duped into this Rise of Skywalker title. Remember the story I told you about? If you haven't heard it, back in 2019 when the film was coming out, they live streamed the trailer, right? For and we didn't know the name of the film at the time, right? So it was just called Episode 9. So I'm home, I took a break from work, drove home, and sat and I watched the trailer for the very first time. And like I said, I was not a fan of the the Last Jedi, especially the part where Luke died at the end. I
That was
still
so
okay. Well,
stupid.
yeah, because I don't want you to go on a tangent, right? So I still have trouble getting over that fact. So now I'm watching the trailer, right, and it's a very good trailer, the Episode 9. Then when they get to the end and they show you the name of the film, and you see in big letters
Oh
the Rise of
no!
Skywalker.
Oh
I fell out of my
no!
seat.
I remember that.
Yes, thinking that they found a way to bring Luke Skywalker back, right? Like they
And
had
they
maybe.
screwed us over.
I was so my mind was started racing. Oh, well, they're going to bring back the world, the world between worlds. Ray's going to go back in time, back to the Last Jedi, and stop Luke from using his Force projection. And
I was
Luke, don't
literally
do it. We need you here physically. Something, right?
I was
The
literally
Rise
kind
of
of thinking like
Skywalker.
maybe
You
that was
know,
why. You
and
know
then
how during the Mandalorian they
mhm,
showed us force healing so we
yes,
could understand it in the Rise of Skywalker. I thought that's why they brought in World Between Worlds, but no.
no. So I was just so excited to see. Okay, well, they figured out how to bring Luke back. Of course, that's not what happened in the film, and I think I can't get over the fact that I got duped. So my answer to the question is the one that I enjoy more, although again, as a whole, The Last Jedi had issues for me, but I enjoy The Last Jedi more. There you go. All right. So Alex says the moment when Kerwin did Vader, no, no, scream right after the Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, I can't even talk about it, Alex. I don't want to. So all right. So the reason why I like the Last Jedi, the dreadnought scene at the very beginning, that was amazing. I was on the edge of my seat. The visual effects and the cinematography, the sound, the music was all going. This was fantastic. We were meeting Rose's sister. I can't remember her name right now, and
Paige.
how she sacrificed her life to save others. And Poe Dameron, he's the hotshot pilot out there, but he's losing all of his people, his crew, and he's and this the scene of Leia, she's at her, at the station, wherever she is, and she's looking at all of these TIE fighters that are lost, because of the mistakes that Poe made. That was a great beginning. And then they got to Octo, and then okay.
Yes.
So that's it. All right. So those are the 5 questions, all right, that we have. If there are any other questions, just go ahead. If you're on Instagram or if you have any comments, let's have it. All right. Yes, Keith.
I'm trying to think.
Okay.
What movie is being released in theaters soon? What movie is being re-released?
Re-released?
Yeah, like, you know how Revenge of the Sith was 2005?
Yeah.
But Force Awakens was also 2015. How do they plan to do that?
You mean like an anniversary release, maybe?
Yeah, like, they did it for Return of the Jedi's 40th, and how they did it for Attack of the Clones' 20th.
Well, the next anniversary would be The Force Awakens, right? So the 10th anniversary would be coming up in 2025.
Yeah.
So that's 2 years from now. So that could be the next one. No? Let me read Michelle.
No, you'd be correct.
Yeah, okay. Michelle says, if they had done that in The Rise of Skywalker, even just had him as a super powerful Force ghost who helps win it all, it would have been worth it.
I can't believe that they got rid of Luke Skywalker and had the gall to call that movie The Rise of Skywalker when they killed off the only remaining member of the Skywalker lineage.
Such a bad title. Bad title. It's just a bait and switch.
The only 2 remaining members, actually.
Yeah.
I feel like The Rise of Skywalker was kind of trying to win over the fan base again to be like, hey, Skywalker's rising back. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it's like, nope, psych.
Yeah.
You suck.
Yeah.
We're not bringing him back.
Okay. Yeah, it's just
dead.
Yeah, Michelle, I like your idea. I think it's a very good one. And it's just it's mind-boggling that I recall reading, the pitch that J.J. Abrams, or was it Captain Kennedy? I'm not sure. About creating, what did I say? Did I say Captain Kennedy?
Yeah, you said Kathleen.
Oh, okay.
I just thought Captain Kennedy for some reason.
Okay. When they were thinking about what they wanted this new movie to be about, they wanted to, I think the pitch was, well, what has Luke Skywalker been up to? All right. So I'm thinking, wow, okay, so they're going to create a story around Luke Skywalker and still bring in new characters, which is nothing wrong with that. You can have the original characters with the new characters.
Luke wasn't even in The Force Awakens.
Well, that's the point. That's what I'm getting at. So I don't know what happened. I thought this, when they say Luke Skywalker has vanished, that this was going to be about, a Luke Skywalker story, him coming back to true form, but not quite that. But,
Luke was in The Force Awakens for all of one scene.
Yeah.
And they somehow managed to mess that up 2 years later.
All right, well, there you go. All right. Yeah, so...
Why in the world would Luke Skywalker chuck a lightsaber over his shoulder?
We know. We
like
don't want to get into that.
Forsaken object.
Don't need to get into that. So, any other Q&A? We got... Okay, all right. So now...
Well, I think that's all for tonight.
Okay.
Are you okay?
Well... I'm just, the producer is making me laugh. So
the producer does that.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. All right. So now
talk.
Okay. That is it, I guess. Okay. So, like this coming Wednesday, we usually do our Ahsoka live stream. Okay. Episode 7 coming up, the penultimate episode.
Yeah.
It looks like, I got the producer's, approval to say this, but it looks like we're going to have to push episode 7 review from Wednesday to Sunday.
Well, actually, producer, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but like I can do the camera.
It's a lot of work, so I don't know.
It's
so
not
the producer's already spoken.
Dad, it's not that bad. We're just not streaming to Instagram.
Yeah. Okay. So it doesn't look like we'll have a live stream this Wednesday. So we're going to push the episode 7 to Sunday, next Sunday. Okay. So just to put it out there so that people are not surprised. All right. But we are looking forward to episode 7. All right. We'll see where it goes from there. All right. Anything else? Okay. Anything else?
Wow.
Where can people find us?
You can find us wherever you get your podcasts, our socials, your Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Fatherson Galaxy, website fathersongalaxy.com. Check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/fathersongalaxy. And please visit our merch store, fathersongalaxy.myspreadshop.com. Please just, buy some merch. It's almost the holidays, We don't have Halloween merch, but we do have some nice sweaters that'll keep you warm during the holiday season, so it's getting colder.
Why not? Yeah.
And if you want to chill out and sit down by your nice house, buy one of our mugs. Have a nice cup of coffee or some hot chocolate while you look out the window as the leaves fall.
How nice. That's very nice. Lovely. All right. Michelle says 2027 is the 50th anniversary of Star Wars. That's absolutely. That is going to be amazing. 50 years of A New Hope. Community reaction to no live stream Wednesday. No.
Yo, Alex, I'm gonna have to go back into the World Between Worlds and fix that. I'm gonna have to fix that one.
Yeah, it's we're I don't think we're gonna be available on Wednesday. So just
Dad, I'll be right back.
Keith is gonna figure out.
I'm just gonna go into the World Between Worlds.
All right, so you tell me how it goes. All right, say hello to Ezra. Oh, he's okay. All right, so that's it.
Yeah, I'll see if Palpatine's still hanging out there.
Yeah. So the best thing to do, of course, is to follow us on, IG, Twitter, Facebook. Turn on that notification button so that we can
check out our Apple Podcasts and
if
Spotify.
Something changes at the last minute, that'd be awesome.
We're also on Twitch now. We are on Twitch.
We're on Twitch. Okay. All right.
I should put my channel on Twitch, actually.
How about that? Twitch. Okay.
By the way, subscribe to Waffles.
All right. Jared got a question. All right. Thank you, Jared. Thank you. All right.
In case you didn't know, I am
question?
Waffles. Yes. Quick question. Before you guys leave, did you like the Ezra introduction last episode? They did it well.
I think so.
It's good. I am so glad Sabine didn't hand him that lightsaber, and they're not about to start off episode 7 with him throwing it over his shoulder.
Oh, wow. It's amazing that you see.
But I was also shocked that they brought him in episode 6. Yeah. I wasn't expecting to get Thrawn and Ezra. I was expecting maybe we'd see Sabine set off, and we'd begin episode 7 with her finding Ezra.
That's true.
But who am I to complain?
No, I think it was a great reveal. I was not expecting, like you said, to see both Thrawn and Ezra in the same episode.
They sent us.
But I think Iman Esfandi did a fantastic job of portraying Ezra. What we know, and he's a mature Ezra Bridger. So he's.
I'm not surprised.
He's very confident.
Being on a deserted island for 10 years will do wonders to you.
Yeah, very confident, and just waiting around for Sabine to find him, and he knew. He knew that eventually she was going to do it, and she did. But
even without the Force,
but at what cost did she find Ezra? We'll find out, okay? Because he doesn't know the whole story, and when he finds out that I had to let Thrawn go. No.
Oh, and I left Sabine behind.
Yeah.
No.
and Ahsoka might be dead. No. We don't know. We don't know what Ezra's going to say, so we'll find out. But great question. Thank you, Jared. All right. That is it then.
Yep.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. This was wonderful. We'll probably do more of these, if they're, getting popular. Ezra Bridger, Star Wars Castaway, move over Tom Hanks. I like that. Very good. Very good. Have a great weekend. Thank you, Michelle, for joining us as always. Thank you so much. So, all right. So we'll keep you posted for this week. But until next time, take care. And we will see you again.